Hey everybody, Monday update, TonyGeorge.sports.com. There's a link in the description below. We'll give you a free $60 for getting to a free college basketball play and an NFL just line review for the upcoming week here real quick early on Monday. Not a full-blown line report, but we'll take a look at some of those games. Tom Brady and Drew Brees are out of the playoffs. Some new blood in there this year, some interesting games. We'll talk about that in a minute. 4-unit bowl pick tonight, 4-unit NBA underdog tonight, and a 3-unit NHL play. Passing on college basketball. And on a brief note, college basketball, 7-9 last week from yours truly. Completely unacceptable. That's going to change. Taking a step back, making some adjustments, making some changes, and yes, a personnel change, unfortunately. But nonetheless, we're going to get this thing rolling here with conference action in town, make up some units, make up some dollars lost, and get it done big time here in college basketball rolling into the month of January, and you can count on that. Going to be a lot of midnight oil and hours burnt, and going to grind away at it. In the NFL yesterday, obviously, we had the under 7-unit pick on Philadelphia, Seattle. I was not heartbroken to see Carson Wentz go down. I'm sorry, Philadelphia fans, but I had big money on the under 7-unit play in that game. Pretty similar to what I thought would be the first time around, and it was. And Seattle finds ways to win, and they got their hands full next week. We'll talk about that in a minute. Drew Brees, terrible clock management by Peyton, a bad football game. And I don't know whether I overestimated New Orleans or I underestimated Minnesota. But one thing I did underestimate was Minnesota's defensive line, because they played a hell of a game in that game, and they just rattled Brees all day long. And I hadn't seen him that rattled in a long time. Drew Brees is a consummate professional, prepared as any quarterback in the league to play a football game every day of the week. And shocking, actually, that it went down like that. It doesn't make a difference about the interference call or non-call in the end zone, again, involving New Orleans. Was it interference? Yeah, probably was. But at the end of the day, they should have never been in that position. They didn't play a good football game, and Minnesota did, and Sean Payton got his ass coached off. So what happened there? But nonetheless, quickly, we'll go over these lines. We'll give you a free pick and get you out of here on Monday. The lines, as they've opened up now, they opened up the Niners, the Minnesota Niners opened up at 7, total 46 right now. The line has switched. You've got some Viking money at coming in and a little bit of under money. So 45 and 6.5 is the current line. Tennessee and Baltimore. Baltimore opened up at 10, 48.5. It's down to 9 and 47. These are consensus lines from my line service right now. Boy, Baltimore's, as a Chiefs fan, I'm very concerned about Baltimore. Speaking of the Chiefs, they opened up at 9 and 49. And right now, the consensus is 9.5 and 50. You can find no more 10s out there. It was 10 yesterday. Now you've got some Houston money coming back. Kansas City at home rested, avenging a loss. Now that's a good setup for a playoff game. And Mrs. George, who loves her Chiefs more than me, and definitely loves Patrick Mahomes more than me, and his wife and her blog, at the end of the day here tells me the weather is going to be partly cloudy and 40, 41 degrees for the game. So right now, no weather. I don't know what the wind is going to be. That's usually a bigger factor than anything else. But keep an eye on the weather in both Baltimore and Kansas City and Green Bay, who we'll talk about next. Opened up as 3.5-point favorite, 46 over Seattle. Right now, money's coming in on Green Bay, -4, 46. And speaking of Green Bay, Dallas Cowboys, welcome Mike McCarthy to the coaching fold there. And a good hire by Jerry Jones if he doesn't F it up. If he just can quit meddling long enough to let McCarthy do his work with what they've got there on offense and a pretty sound defense, that might be the magic pill that the Cowboys need. in my opinion, it's a great hire. That being said, tonight we got a game here, and I'm going to double check this line. College basketball has just been racking me. I had Wright State yesterday for a top play, -8, 8.5. They shot 36% from the floor versus 36% from the floor for Detroit, and yet they still won. But they didn't cover the number. I mean, I can't get on the right side of these, and that's why we're taking a step back today. Sometimes it's not what you do that counts. Sometimes it's what you don't do that counts in life, and that's definitely it. Georgia State out on the road taking on Arkansas State, opened up at -4 for Georgia State, and Arkansas State, and the total is 145.5. They're expecting a lot of points here, and Georgia State can put them up. But I'll tell you something. They put up 11 points more per game than what Arkansas State does. And here's the other thing. Identical records. So when you see two teams in college basketball with identical records, you want to take a look. How did they get there? Meaning strength of schedule. Georgia State's got a lot better strength of schedule than Arkansas State. They have a lot more firepower on offense, and this line has dropped a half a point down to 3.5. They've won 9 out of their last 11 games. 7 of those 9 wins were by more than 4 points. I'll take Georgia State in this game tonight in college basketball. Get it done over Arky State for your free play winner. Get over to Docs, check out all the action. Back at you on Tuesday.